ENTV, I have with me today Kathy Ford. You all are going to enjoy this interview. I have no doubt, especially any women in the house. We have, like Kathy, we have 68% women in this group of 15,000 people. So,
Um,
yeah.
awesome.
Okay. So, welcome here, my dear. I'm really excited to interview you because I've been watching your stuff. You're a mover and a shaker. A lot of people are going to be inspired by what you have to say. So, how do we even begin to talk about you?
Well, Amos, thank you so much for having me. It's just a real honor to just be here with you. Don't you love social media for this? Like the connection is super powerful and what we can do and connecting with people. I've just watched it really like not just blow up for business or relationships, but really connecting with like-minded people, which we all love to do. So I'm excited to be here.
Happy to have you. So, where does your story begin? Because do you want to go with who you are today and then go backward to your story? Or do you want to start with where you started and then come up to today? What do you prefer?
We can start with where I am today.
Okay.
I would probably consider myself a serial entrepreneur. I'm a faith-based entrepreneur, so that really is infused in everything that I do. I love starting businesses, creating businesses. I just launched my sixth startup business this year. And I'm super excited about that, a virtual staffing company in the Philippines, which I love. And just making a huge great global impact there on the women and men there and connecting them with great leaders here. So that's been exciting. So probably I've been an entrepreneur since I was 26. I love business. I love connecting with people. I'm definitely a connector. Probably a promoter if you guys know those people. We can be loud and busy. So that's a little bit about just where I am. I have two or three different businesses right now, coaching women in business, running retreats, inner circles, and then also am heavy into real estate investing. So a lot going on, but I love it.
I want to ask you first, what do you love about business the most?
You know what? I think it's probably the creating. I have realized I really like the creativity behind, since I have launched different businesses, I really like the startup. I'm a numbers person. I like being able to look at and reverse engineer things and see how we can make that happen. In particular, I love working with people in their businesses to just teach them. So many times in business, we get the thought of, oh, I need more volume, more clients, more people, more product, when we really have a gold mine sitting in our business and we need to monetize on what we're currently using. And so I do a lot of coaching about monetizing the current resources you have. And you'd be surprised at how you can take a business and really even, make a 20% increase, 30. Sometimes I've helped businesses increase by 50% by just utilizing what they currently have and maybe building product off of current ancillaries or resources or reverse engineering some things and seeing, hey, what would happen if we did this? And so I love that part of business.
Okay, as a little girl, what were you doing then? What was fun time for you? Like what games?
You know what? I was an athlete all through my high school years. I did look at, I had two places in two Christian universities where I had walk-ons in sports offered to me, but I didn't want to play anymore after high school. I had played so much. And so I'm actually, I enjoy a lot of fun outside of business. If you could see me on the beach or in the mountains, I do love to work out. I'm probably super silly and funny with my friends, very relaxed outside of that. But in business, it's business. So that's a little
But
bit.
okay, well, there's a ton of women, as we said, in this community. So let's hit. What are you currently doing, offering like real estate? You got a new brand new thing there. You got your VAs, you got retreats. Let's hit it.
Okay. Yes. So as far as first, we'll just start with Rise Virtual Staffing. One of the things that I tell people all the time, if you don't have an assistant, you are an assistant. And when we get into business, we get into business with this idea or this view of some time freedom. And then we get sucked down in these time draining tasks that we don't love. But the first thing I do with people in business when I'm coaching them is I have them fill out kind of these four quadrants. Like, what are the things that you love and you're great at? What do you like and you're good at? What are you good at but you don't enjoy doing? And what are you not even good at and you don't enjoy doing? Because most entrepreneurs end up being in these bottom two quadrants a lot. I'm doing things, I know I've done that. I've been guilty of like being in that bottom quadrant where I'm like doing things that I suck at and I don't enjoy, like Excel spreadsheets or metrics or KPIs or those sort of things you have to do for your business, but do I have to be the one doing it? And so really helping entrepreneurs elevate out of those bottom quadrants so that they can really live in the top two. Because as an entrepreneur, the things that you're probably good at are not about spreadsheet. If that's not income producing, you need to be giving that to someone else. And so as far as in business, so that's what really, I have scaled 3 businesses using virtual staffing out of other countries. It helps with productivity, definitely your bottom line cost, and very efficient skill sets available to us. And so, when I first started with a VA company, though, the customer service wasn't great. I didn't get full access to that VA because they were kind of a gatekeeper because they feared me hiring them direct. And I just looked at it from a completely different mindset. So I had made a huge impact on, I have a team of 6 in one of my companies, and they just blew my business up. They were super efficient, very much so, very strong core values. A spirit of excellence and integrity is just woven in the people there. And, they want to work. And so coming after 2020, we get a lot of people who the dynamics changed on staffing and things like that. And so I scaled that business to multiple 6 figures into 7 in my real estate investing company in a matter of a couple of years. And I loved this team. And I just one day was coming home from a plane and I knew that God had said, hey, I want you to start a company there and make a bigger impact. And so that was on a Sunday. I got home Monday. I launched that entity and we just kind of got to work. And so what's happening there is really, one of the things is I definitely cater to women in business more than anything. And so just really women, most of our virtual assistants have college degrees. I'm connecting them with great leaders over here that really want to have someone that can help them scale their business, that can put both feet in, learn about their own vision, their own mission, and become a team member. And so I have always loved staff development. And so this just kind of fits along with that.
Okay. Well, that was a fire hosing. I love it. I love it. I
That
love
was
it.
a fire hose. So yes, on that's the staffing company.
Yeah.
You asked me about the real estate investing, which I'm excited about.
Brand new, right?
You know what? I started in real estate. Yes, this is brand new. The launch of this membership group. I started in real estate investing just literally right out of COVID. I've never had any experience in it. Just decided I wanted to learn about it. I did get some coaching. Was kind of pretty pricey, but I knew quickly, I was like, okay, I can do this. I started a business with my sons. That business did really, really well, really quickly. And then I started fixing and flipping and then doing some land growth development. I'm looking at RV parks right now. The real estate investment industry is predominantly male dominated, which is nothing wrong with that, except for so I connected with a lot of great women doing some major real estate investing. And then I had women asking me all the time, they would see me flipping a property and then they'd be like, okay, you made a $70,000 profit on one flip. Do you know what that would do for my family? So then I began coaching women. How do I get started in real estate investing? How do I get started? How do I fix and flip a property? How do you use where do you get the money? Because I've never used my own money. I always use other people's money. Through private money lenders, using other people's as banks. And that's how I initially got started. Because some people think you have to have a ton of money to get started in real estate investing. That's just not true. And so out of that, I met 5 other great women. I said, you guys, let's do something together where we can with a very low entry level, help women learn about real estate investing, or the ones who are already doing well at it, connect with a great community to grow even farther. And so we launched a membership site just in July. We just launched the group in July, but we just launched the site September the 1st. And so people can go onto that site. It's literally only $99 a month and you will get course after course. And on my course alone, if it's individual, I'm charging $10,000 to just coach someone on an individual group pod. But in here, you literally can learn about real estate investing through the membership platform. And we are traveling all over the country doing events at different places. We were in Dallas. We'll be in Atlanta in October. We'll be in California in February, the Northeast in May, and then have a big conference here in Dallas again in the summer. So
Fun. You said this before we got on. How are you doing this with five other women? Because you guys are probably all go-getters.
I laughed. I know. I missed you. You can say what I told you. I said, most men don't want to be married to one woman, much less five, because when you're in business together, it's a marriage. And but you know what? We are dear friends, definitely emotionally high IQs, where there are times when in any relationship where maybe someone has said something, or so we're very graceful with each other. We love each other, and we are really know the higher value of this is we really want to serve women. So we have over 2,000 people in the community group, and then the membership just launched. And women, there are so many women, and especially women in their 40s and 50s, where I am, who are now kind of looking around like, okay, what's next? I've launched my kids. They watch, and it's not, real estate investing is not HGTV. And some of it is cool like that, but it really is a great asset class for you to learn about and add. Even if you just did, like for me, even one flip can add in a significant amount of income for people if they know how. And it's not as hard as people think. It's not as easy as sometimes they may think too, but and there's so many ways to get involved in real estate. So that's what I love about it. It's at all levels can get involved. And remember, I came in using none of my own money, and I learned the strategies on how to do that. And I really, if more people knew that you could do that, they would probably be involved.
Oh, I bet we're gonna have a bunch of women that jump into your community. We'll need to drop that after, Kathy. Your link to your Facebook group. What's the name of your Facebook group? Your main one?
The Facebook group for that community is Roar Society, ROAR dash society.com.
Okay, awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. Now, what else you got coming up in the next year?
So I do two retreats a year, just with women. I'm a licensed therapist by trade, brain health certified, so neuroscience. And obviously, I've already mentioned I'm a faith-based entrepreneur. So I do really deep level retreats for women who are just looking for like-minded women who are ready for some accountability and to really dive into what is the next level of my life and why, what is the resistance that's keeping me from getting it there. So kind of almost like a respite. But so many people think, how do you get transformation quick? Well, you can. It's not, you've got to, we all know how to lose weight. We know, eat healthy, exercise, or whatever, but why don't we do it? So this retreat is to really dig into the why are you not doing what you know you can do, and going into that. And we can really do that in a weekend, is just really looking at what are some of the belief systems or narratives that are running what program is running your life, because the way you show up in one area of your life, you will often show up in another area, whether that's in relationships or business or finances. And if we can tag that little piece, and you can do it. So it's kind of an experiential, but it's amazing fun. These women stay connected for forever once they go through that. So that's in the fall. And I have an inner circle also that is new for me, launching an inner circle. So many women have been asking me to launch an inner circle where it's literally you can get on, and we're going to walk through things even about nervous system regulation, or what is it that's going on at different ages where I'm feeling chronic angst. Most of us right now in this country are at a level of chronic angst, and how do I decrease that even a little bit? I'm running a lot of things. We're moms, dads, parents. We have aging grandparents. There's so much happening, and we've forgotten how to really slow down and be present conscious of where we are right now, so that we can have joy in the journey. And so that is a lot of what that will be about.
As a leader, what are the top two or three lessons you've learned, Kathy, that help move the needle in your life?
For me, the top two, first of all, is definitely going to be my faith. People ask me that question, like, what are the top two, or what do you think your superpower is? I think for me is faith. My faith is infused in everything. So obviously a biblical perspective is where I come from, a place, but I think it's the same thing. I think, even in that, there is a place where we have to take actionable steps. And part of when people talk about fear or doing things through fear, fear and paralysis analysis, it's not that there's people who are just brave. I wrote a book called 31 Days to Brave, Letting Go of Fear and Trauma One Step at a Time. And sorry, my puppy's going to run right up. It one of the things that people do is they just think, oh, that's for that person. I used to say, what if the great lie in life, Amos, was it's for everybody else? And I just don't think that's true. I think whatever God has called us to, our purpose and plan that's put for us on this planet is really up to us. Is, are we stepping into it? What are the things that's keeping us back from it? So for me, getting into action, and it's not big, huge leaps. Sometimes people minimize the small beginning, and it's the small beginnings that continue to add up. So when I'm working with someone who's even in trauma, or a business owner, sometimes they're so overwhelmed with the big picture that they miss the small beginnings. And every time you take a small step, it builds confidence. So confidence is a skill that can be built. It's not just that, hey, how did you get here doing this with 15,000 members? It's amazing. Well, you did it one incremental step at a time, right? And so many of us get bogged down in the big step and don't look at these small incremental steps. And I am very good at being willing to take just the one small step. And it just quickly built more confidence and more confidence. I didn't just land brave. People ask me that, oh, you're just built differently. No, I believe wholeheartedly. And the good news about that is no matter where you are, you can build confidence. And it's usually built one actionable step at a time.
Did you have amazing parents or did you have challenge stuff growing up and then you developed it from that?
So I had, you know what, I always say I had two parents who, well, I'm one of six kids. And so we had a big family. Both of my parents were entrepreneurs. So that part of me is ingrained in me, just that's what I grew up. It's familiar to me. And so many people, we repeat what we're familiar with often, right? Now then, did I have some challenges with my parents? Yes. My dad, I love my father, but he was really had a challenge and issues with temper. So I became consciously aware of that when I went to college, of like, oh, I can be short with people. Oh, I can be abrupt. I didn't like it. And so instead of just ignoring it, I started in with a therapist even in college, and was like, I want to see where this is coming from. What came out of that is being able to now have amazing relationships. I have four kids, and being able to recognize, okay, you know what? I used to also be, Amos, a very judgmental person years back, and I didn't like it. And so I began, nothing like a little bit of humble pie. I did lose my spouse of 25 years to a narcotics addiction. He passed away from an accidental overdose. So there have been a lot of challenges. People look at me, lots of challenges. He bankrupted everything that we owned. And so I had started over in my very, like right around 46 years old. And so I started over from scratch. And, it was really the belief that there was nothing that God couldn't do with that situation if I would do my part. And it's not like, I don't believe that we just pray to God and he just does anything we want him to do. He's not a genie. But am I willing to trust the process and continue to grow? I am probably one of the most least judgmental people now, praise God. And it's easy for me to kind of internally look at things. Like when I see myself show up, this happened just 2 weeks ago. And if you follow me much, you'll know I'm a pretty vulnerable person. I showed up in a way that I didn't like. And I had to get off and be like, okay, I need to, what's going on? I was overstressed, overcommitted, had done too many things. And I just immediately went to it was with my team. And I said, hey team, I need to apologize. I'm sorry. I own this, etc. And but I do evaluate, none of us are perfect, but are we able to take the things that have been challenges in our life, appreciate and value the things from our parents that they did do, and then leave the things behind that maybe we don't like? I love both of my parents, and were they perfect parents? No. Have I chosen to ignore the things? No. What I've chosen to do is really value what they did do, right? And then look at the things that maybe weren't the most positive, and like, okay, I know that there's going to be a propensity in me to have that same character trait. How do I want to show up for my children in my life, in my world?
Boom. Another mic drop. Kathy, who do you want to connect with here? Who, now obviously women, but is there anyone you want to call out in your interview that, and if you're watching this and you're Kathy's friend, please give her some love in the comments. That's already happening. I've been monitoring this. So one of your Vanessa
Akowitz.
Lakowitz
Yes, yes.
dropped. Thanks for watching, Vanessa. She dropped your Roar Society.
Thank you.
Do you want to give shout outs?
Vanessa is one of an amazing woman that I've connected with in the Roar Society. You know, if I were to say anything, I think even when women who come into my retreat, Amos, sometimes women are afraid to step in and lean with other women. Maybe they've had bad experiences. It's just like people who've had bad experience in church or bad experience in a relationship. I always tell people we're either in resistance or revenge or fear of some kind. I would say lean in and be willing to say, okay, you know what, I'm not perfect either, these people aren't perfect, how can I connect around other great women? You know, we've all heard that statement of like, you are the 5 people that you hang around the most. There really is truth in that. And I always say this is the one thing I would say if there's women on here is be willing to be in the middle. And what I mean by that is I always tell even people I'm coaching or working with, you know, sometimes people are looking, and especially with social media, the highlight reels, all this stuff, you know, we think it's all perfect. That's probably why I put all my stuff out there, Amos, because I'm like, nobody's going to tell my secret. I'm going to tell it myself first. So I have no shame in my game. And so, but I think as women, we should be holding a baton like this. We're either pulling someone else up and then we're latching onto someone who's maybe where we aren't quite yet. And there's never should be a breach. So many people think, oh, I'm just not there. I have to have all this knowledge to be helping or coaching someone else. No, you need to be about this much ahead of someone else to be able to make an impact on someone's life. And so there's a lot of women that are minimizing the imprint that they could make, and they continue watching from the sidelines. It's just time to get in the game. And I don't care who it's with, but someone asked me the other day, what's your greatest fear? And I said that I would miss the Lord and that I would miss out on what he wants me to do or has for me just because I wouldn't step out and lean into whatever that was. And so I would just encourage women, whoever they are watching, or men, you know, be in accountability. You need accountability in your life. You need people you give permission to call things out in you. I'm not afraid for someone to say, hey, you know, my 4 kids know they have free permission. They are for adults. I have gone to them and said, hey, is there anything in me that you see that you'd like for me to work on? I want to give them permission to speak into my life, and we have this mutual exchange of they also allow me to speak into theirs. And so I want to be surrounded with people like that in all areas of my life.
I'm inspired. I bet a lot of the ENTV members, when they see this Kath, are also going to be inspired. Thank you for delivering such value. ENTV, if you're watching, please let Kathy know what you appreciate in the comments. Kathy, afterwards, we got Roar Society. Any other links you want to drop to retreats, to whatever, please drop those in the Facebook group after.
I sure will.
Closing
Yeah.
comments, Kathy?
No, Amos, thank you so much. You know, I just value getting to connect with you and the platform, and that you're obviously creating an incredible platform and this give back to where people who like you, me, we didn't even know each other a couple of months ago, and yet we're connecting here. I think the power of social media, if we can use it in this way, is the way to do it. You know, there's so many things that can be negative about it, but there's really some amazing things that can be super positive. So just thank you so much for the platform you're creating. I appreciate that.
My pleasure. I love seeing you on fire. I just want to pour gas on you, pour more and more and more. So, uh, ENTV, thanks for watching. Kathy, thank you for being here. We'll just keep chatting as we go off air, and we'll see you soon, ENTV. Thanks, Kathy.
Thanks, Amos.